welcome to Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Eckman, and working with me is Kim McQuilkin. The Duke Blue Devils came into this season knowing they didn't have a lot of depth, but then injuries really made the situation very complex for Coach Steve Sloan. Kim?
Duke's record is 1-4. One of the main reasons for that is the fact that at one point or another during the season, they have lost 9 of their 11 offensive starters. This has really hurt them offensively. They've only scored 1 touchdown in the last 4 games.
This is a game where records could be rewritten for Clemson, especially up front on defense.
Well, we've got the homecoming crowd here today, and William Perry needs just 1 sack to set the all-time Clemson record. Also, just 1 tackle for loss, and he's got that Clemson record also.
This homecoming crowd could be the largest crowd to ever see a Clemson football game. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this. There's the Duke Blue Devil coach Steve Sloan on the sideline as the Blue Devils and the Clemson Tigers are on the field getting ready. Sloan 21-37, off to a 1-4 season this year. Danny Ford making sure his shoes are on tight after 48 wins. Ken Harper will be getting set to kick off as Clemson leads this series 15-12 and 1 tie. Clemson has won the last 3 and the last 6 out of 7. Ray Williams and Terrence Rulack are deep. It's Williams going back into the end zone for the over-the-shoulder catch. And Clemson will begin this ball game at the 20-yard line.
Kickoff is down in the end zone by Ray Williams. Tigers first and 10 at the 20.
Quarterback Mike Epley, number 14, as he comes into the ball game. Here's the interior line. Engel, Reese, Swing, Cheatham, Ellis, and Dunn. We might see Ellis move to the guard spot if Cheatham can't go all the way. Epley at quarterback, Flowers the fullback, Stacy Driver, the leading rusher on the ball club, and Rulack, his great knack for touchdown receptions, along with Butler at the wide receivership. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. First play of the ball game, Epley shouting out the signals. That's Kenny Flowers, the fullback, number 48, brought down by Johnny Hill. Hill is one of the finer safety men around, as he's been called upon to make a lot of tackles. Let's take a look at the defensive lineup for Duke. Ward, Adams, Andrews, and Blackwell. Quick play underway. On the 2nd and 2, Epley decides to tuck it under. First down and more. 40-yard line, 45, 50, 50. Over the 50-yard line, down to the 40-yard line. They're going to place the ball at the 41.5-yard line. Nick Bonacani making the tackle from the linebacker spot after catching up with him. What a nice quick play by Epley, Kim McQuilkin.
And the reason Mike Epley was able to run so far downfield was the fact that Clemson sent all their receivers deep. Duke was in a man-to-man coverage, so the entire secondary was run deep. Once Epley gets by the linebackers, he's got a lot of running room, and he's way downfield.
Epley with 129 yards coming into the ball game on 36 carries, averaging 3.6. This 33-yard ramble by Epley will certainly improve that average, Kim. First and 10 at the 41-yard line for Clemson. Beautiful block by his fullback, Kenny Flowers, as Calamari is called upon for his first stop of the ball game.
Well, Duke plays an even man defensive front with 4 linebackers. Clemson this time just straight man-on-man blocking. There was a big hole over that left side and big yardage for Clemson.
Butler to the near side. Rulack goes to the right side on a 2nd down. 1 yard to go for the first down. First series of plays in the ball game, no score. Flowers, the ball carrier, met head-on by number 73, the defensive tackle David Adams. Adams from Stone Mountain, Georgia, comes into the ball game with 32 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. And now you can make that 2 because he lost a half yard on the play.
3rd and 1, Clemson brings in a 2nd tight end. Jim Riggs, number 99, in the ball game now.
They also have a wingback, Quick, normally a fullback, on the 3rd and 2. Stacy Driver's got the first down as he gets over the marker almost to the 30-yard line. He had to get over the 31-yard line for the first down. Harry Ward making the tackle, his 37th of the year. He's from Norwood, Massachusetts.
Well, Steve Reese, the left guard for Clemson, has been their most consistent offensive lineman for this season. That time we saw him make the block, almost a little holding that time. Mr. Reese had his hands outside his body, but the referee did not see it, so Clemson's got a first down.
At least he had the angle in number 97, Greg Blackwell, who's an experienced outside linebacker. 1st and 10 from the 30 for Clemson on the move. Stacy Driver to throw. He's got Rulak deep. Rulak, touchdown. Penalty flag is down. We could have a hold on number 48, Flowers.
Well, it could also be roughing the passer. This is something Clemson has not tried all season long. One of their favorite plays is the toss sweep to Stacy Driver outside. Here they're making it look like run. He just pulls it up and throws it downfield like a quarterback, Art, right on the money.
Roughing the passer, Reggie Andrews, number 91, came in to give him a pretty good pop after he let go of the football. And it is 6-0 Clemson with 12:46 on the clock here in the first quarter.
And what a way for Stacy Driver to start off his quarterbacking career by throwing a touchdown pass and getting roughed on the very same play.
Don't laugh. Driver used to throw in high school down in Griffin, Georgia. Igwebuike, who's 19 of 19 to try the extra point. Peretti, the holder. Williams, Scott Williams, number 50, the snapper. Igwebuike puts the toe into it, and he gets his 44th point of the season, the leading scorer for the Clemson Tigers. So with 12:46 remaining here in the first quarter, it's Clemson 7, Duke nothing. We'll be back with more action in a moment. Duke is actually looking for a squib or an onside kick from Igwebuike, who has 18 of 27 non-returnable. But right now the penalty, the roughing the passer penalty, was assessed, and Donald will be kicking off from the Duke 45-yard line. Only Mike Atkinson, number 3, is back at his goal line. You see him there. So let's see what the strategy from Danny Ford will be. Igwebuike comes forward. It's the onside try, picked up by number 22 in that Duke lineup, and that is Cooper, Jason Cooper. Normally a tight end, he's a freshman. Cooper secures the ball, so Duke takes over just outside their own 25-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting lineup offensively now for the Duke Blue Devils. Here's the interior line. The Twins, Higginbotham at center and offensive guard. Millian is their best lineman in that group. Walston starting at quarterback today. Sanders, Peacock. Sanders is starting for an injured fullback. Frederick, their leading receiver, and Herring, very fine tight end. Drew Walston, a junior from College Park, Georgia, pitches back to Peacock, and Peacock is blasted behind the line by William Perry. So William Perry now has 46 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, which breaks Randy Scott's Clemson record. So we've got one record already on the first defensive play of the game, Kim McQuilkin. There's the defensive lineup. As you see, the defensive secondary for Clemson. Second down, and officially 10 yards to go for the first down, so we'll really have to check to see if they gave him a loss of yardage on the play. The pass went to Atkinson, and Tyrone Davis picks him off.
Walston's pass is complete to Atkinson.
Mike Atkinson is starting at the split end spot in place of Herring right now.
This is a play that Duke was working on rather extensively in their pregame warm-up. It's the quick screen to the split end. They fake the dive, send a couple of offensive linemen out in front of them. It worked that time, 1st and 10.
Davis making his 29th tackle of the year, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for the Blue Devils. Peacock up the middle. He makes 5 yards on the play before the bandit Terrence Mack, number 12, secures him.
Mike Peacock on the carry.
So the Blue Devils now showing they can move the ball in 2 out of the 3 plays so far.
And sometimes, Art, the best way to attack a pursuing defense like the one that Clemson has is to run straight at them. When you run laterally, you get in trouble because William Perry's big, but he also pursues very well. So you might see Duke try a lot of straight-ahead, man-on-man type plays.
Officially, that first play on the Duke offense was not for a loss of yardage, so Perry has not taken the record yet. Second down, 5 yards to go. Peacock almost picked off by the bandit Terrence Mack, but Henry Walls comes up to secure the tackle, his 45th of the year. Walls, an outstanding linebacker, led the tacklers last year on this Tiger Ball Club.
And here's the toss sweep. You see the tight end That was Rick Reed, number 89, blocking back into the middle of the line of scrimmage, actually chopping down William Perry on that play. That allowed Duke to get outside.
Peacock comes into the game with 63 rushes for 227 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 4 now for the Blue Devils with 10:30 on the clock here in the first quarter. The rush is on. Right through the hands, intended for Scott Russell, the backup tight end. Russell, 6'4", couldn't quite get a hand on the ball. The senior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So the Tiger defense holds on the first Duke offensive series. Ken Harper comes in to punt.
Ken Harper in punt formation. Reggie Pleasant deep for the Tigers.
Harper averaging 47 yards a kick. Reggie Pleasant standing back on the 18-yard line. Harper is also an injury replacement. It's an end-over-end kick. Pleasant taking the ball and being hit immediately at the 22-yard line. So the Tigers will take over after Mark Mosley makes the defensive stop with the score. Clemson 7, Duke nothing. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. Ball placement of the 23 for the first down play. Epley goes to the air. Rulak can't quite hold on to it. Rulak earlier in the ball game on the halfback pass from Stacy Driver, catching his 5th touchdown pass in as many games.
Number 29, Joby Branyan covering for Duke.
In this season, you get a good idea as what the Clemson offense can do and the Clemson defense, even though they say it's improved and has some experience, is still giving up 362 yards a ball game coming into this contest. Up the middle it goes to Flowers, and the center of the Duke line collapses on him on a 2nd and 10 play.
Tackle by Greg Blackwell.
Blackwell gets credit for the hit. That's his 32nd tackle of the year. He has 2 sacks on the season from that outside linebacker spot, so they like to send him every now and then. He's from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, 225-pound senior. There's the rushing stats for Flowers as they break the line and break the huddle, come up to the line. 3rd down and 6 yards to go for the Tigers. Rulak, one of the outside receivers, and Butler the other. They go to Rulak. Complete. Out of bounds. They give it to him at the 42-yard line where Ralph Alderman makes the push out there along with Alan Scales. Rulak having himself a great ball game, Kim.
Well, and this play was executed just like it's supposed to be done at practice. Straight back in the pocket. Epley that time hit Rulak on a 15-yard down and out. And really, the Duke defense wasn't anywhere near him.
Rulak, 424 career yard receptions. The up man Flowers on the carry, and a good gain on the first down play over the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Tackle made by Harry Ward.
Harry Ward from Norwood, Massachusetts, an outside linebacker, makes the stop for the Blue Devils, a junior. Flowers now in 4 carries has 14 yards. Clemson averaging 31.8 points a game. They lead this one 7-0 with 9:08 remaining in the first quarter. K.D. Dunn goes to the right side at the tight end spot. Out of the pro set, it goes to Flowers. Flowers breaking a tackle, and finally Calamari makes the tackle. Not before a first down on a very fine second effort.
Well, right at the line of scrimmage, Kenny Flowers broke 2 tackles, sliced through to pick up that extra yardage. Just a belly play over right tackle. There he's hit by Bonacani right at the line of scrimmage, but he runs right through that tackle, protecting the ball downfield. It's a first down for Clemson.
Still with 8:36 remaining first quarter, the Tigers have 5 first downs in this ball game. Pat Charleston and Shelton Boyer, the wide receivers, as Stacy Driver has to look for a hole and still gets 4 yards on the play. The Duke defense sealing the outside away from Driver this time, and he was forced to go inside, where Reggie Andrews finally made the tackle.
Well, we talked about Nick Bonacani's size. He's 5'10", about 180 pounds. Look at this. That's Steve Reese, the left guard for Clemson, and Steve goes about 265 pounds. That's quite a job that Bonacani's going to have to face all afternoon.
Bonacani's quick, but he's not too heavy. Barely 200 pounds, and that's a beefed-up 200. Rulak diving for the ball, traps it, they say, at the 35-yard line.
Well, this is the second time now that Mike Epley has thrown an incomplete pass to his left. What he's not doing is he's not getting his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage as he lets that ball, the out ball, go to his left. Mike's got to square himself up a little bit and release the ball just a little bit better. He's pulling the string just a hair, and that's the reason he's got 2 incompletions on that play.
Boyer comes to the near side. He's the lone wide receiver on this play. 3rd and 6 for the Tigers. Charleston is actually on a wing as it goes to Flowers, and it doesn't get the first down as he goes to the 37-yard line. So it'll be a 4th down play coming up. Flowers' 27-yard touchdown run last game was one of the big plays in that Clemson attack. In fact, it was nice to see the big play come back into the attack as they had trouble against Georgia and Georgia Tech.
Well, Art, on that last play, it was rather an interesting call. On 3rd and 6, Clemson elected to run the ball up the middle. Duke that time gambled, brought everybody up on the line of scrimmage, blitzed everybody. They had man-to-man bump and run coverage on the outside. I thought Clemson might audible, but they didn't. They're in there kicking the field goal now.
Igwebuike trying for a 54-yarder. It's up. It's got the distance. It's good. Igwebuike, 54 yards out of the hold of Anthony Peretti. Is there any limit to this guy? He now has kicked 9 of 10 field goal tries this year.
And watch Igwebuike as he kicks this 54-yarder. Let's look at his reaction. Just another day at the office.
Well, he's one of the best in college football. There's no question about that. His first miss of the year was against North Carolina. It was a sheer 35-yarder. He just kind of hooked it a little bit. He is 44 out of 44 in extra points this year. Igwebuike has had the longest field goal in the ACC now in 3 consecutive years, if he can hold on to this one being the longest this year.
Well, the way he's kicking, he's liable to add to that also.
7:10 remaining to be played here in the first quarter. It's already Clemson 10-0. Igwebuike sets up now on the 40-yard line. Going back is Chuck Herring, a junior from Springfield, Virginia, along with Mike Atkinson from Princeton, North Carolina, a senior.
Atkinson and Herring deep to the Blue
It's
Devils.
Herring to the far side as we see Igwebuike. He gets a lot into it. It's very high. It's a run back try by Herring. Good coverage. Number 39 was the first one down there, and that would be Perry Williams, a cornerback sophomore from Adairsville, Georgia. 3 minutes and 15 seconds in possession. They went 39 yards, capped off by the 53-yard field goal by Igwebuike. Added to the Rulac reception, a 30-yard touchdown pass from Stacy Driver, and it's 10-0 with 7:04 remaining first quarter. Edwick and Herring are the wideouts. Peacock and Sanders out of the eye. Back of Walston, the quarterback. That's Peacock. No running room at all. And a nice play coming in on the defense by Jeff Wells that broke it up as Henry Walls secured the tackle.
And it's up to the Duke offense now to keep their defense off the field. Duke's really only had the ball a couple of plays in the first quarter. Clemson's defense is dominated. They need to knock out a few first downs here and get some momentum going.
You see here how much trouble they had against Virginia Tech. They had a total, I think, of 68 yards in that ball game offensively. The second quarter, they ran 11 plays for a minus 17 yards. So they're trying to get it together against one of the finest defenses in the country here today. 2nd and 9. The pitch back to Peacock. He's got his first down, maybe. No, nice hit. Coming up before the first down marker, Ronald Watson. Well, you know, he's known for hitting. Against North Carolina in the last ball game, he had 11 tackles. Well, rated 95% in that ball game, Kim.
Well, here you're going to see why Ronald Watson considered one of the best hitters in the ACC. Look at that. Almost looked like a dual knockout.
3rd and 2 for the Blue Devils. Watson getting to the ball carrier just in time to prevent a first down. Monk gets hit behind the line by Michael Perry. The redshirt freshman now has 5 tackles this year for loss of yardage, number 91.
Well, one of the reasons Michael Perry is free, because look at this. Duke decides to double team his brother William Perry. That leaves Michael one-on-one. He breaks free and makes the tackle in the backfield.
Thank you, Bro. And Ken Danforth comes up to help out on the play. Piper in after a 32-yard end-over-end kick the first time. Gets this one to sail better, and Reggie Pleasant back to the 24. Nice tackle on the play. Mark Mosley once again for his second special teams tackle here in the first quarter. And with 5:18 remaining on the first quarter clock, it's Clemson 10-0 taking over once again, this time from just outside their 26-yard line. It'll be Butler and Rulak, the wideout. Steve Griffin comes in at fullback.
I wonder if Mark Mosley's done any kicking in his college career.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Peretti in at quarterback. Carter, the fullback, with Peretti right in front of him. And with a new quarterback, we've got Ellis along with Riggs jumping off sides.
And I really don't think that Epley is hurt. Clemson just came into this game with so much confidence. They tried the trick play right off the bat with Driver throwing a touchdown pass, and you get the feeling that Clemson's going to try a lot of things this afternoon. One of them right now is letting their senior backup quarterback, Anthony Peretti, get some work.
Five-yard penalty stepped off against the Tigers for offside.
So the offside infraction will give the Tigers a 1st and 15 from the 21-yard line. That's Griffin on the carry. Breaks to the outside. No hole, so he made his own run. Almost to the first down marker to the 34-yard line. Brannion, Joby Brannion making the tackle.
Steve Griffin is able to break this one to the outside because the entire Clemson offensive line fires out, gets good position on the people they're blocking. Look at the leg drive there by the entire right side, and that springs Griffin outside.
Steve Reese with that great line drive type of movement. Griffin on the run now as they quickly get into the second play. Goes for the first down at the 38-yard line, so he got better than 2 yards more than he needed for the first down. Nick Bonicani making the tackle on Griffin, number 44. Incidentally, Joby Brannion, who made the tackle 2 plays ago, is known for his hitting. Against Army, he was the defensive player of the game of that, but he had 17 tackles against the military academy. 1st and 10 now at the 38-yard line for Clemson. Peretti, the short drop. And he hits Boyer. Sheldon Boyer, another first down inside Blue Devil territory. Brannion again, the stop for the Blue Devils. Peretti is now 7 of 13 this year as he came into the game with 89 yards and a touchdown.
Well, the nice thing he does here, throwing to his left, he really opened those hips, which is important to do for the right-handed quarterback, throwing to his left. He got the hips out of the way, got the ball out there in good shape, and that's why he got a first down.
It's Rulak to the far side and Butler to the near side on a 1st and 10 at the 49. Peretti, he's got his tight end. Jim Riggs at the 30-yard line. He bullied that ball across the field. Calamari making the tackle.
Well, this was a play-action pass. Peretti's going to fake to his fullback up the middle, then comes down, fakes option, pulls up, throws back to his tight end Riggs across the middle. First down again for Clemson.
Riggs using his 6'5" height to pull that one in, and with good hand strength as well. It goes up the middle to Henry Carter, and Carter just shy of the 25-yard line. Give him a gain of 4 on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 6 with 3:18 remaining first quarter. Clemson dominating Duke here in the first quarter, 10-0. Duke has certainly been struggling at 1-4 coming into the game. They opened up with a 31-24 win over Indiana, but since then have been depleted. Peretti lobbing it. Rulak, touchdown! His second touchdown of the ball game. Terrence Rulak is going on a touchdown reception tear. He beats Alan Scales on the play.
Well, this is the defense that Duke was in on the last series where I thought Clemson might audible. This time I think Peretti did audible. Duke was up in a bump-and-run defense. They blitzed the linebackers. That's man-to-man, and Rulak can beat anybody man-to-man. Big play by Peretti. Heads-up play by the quarterback.
Rulak has taken over the #1 position of the Tiger team as far as number of receptions, now with his 13th catch for more than 200 yards. He now has 6 touchdowns on the season. Igwebuike fires it up and through the uprights. And it's Clemson 17-0 with still 2:55 remaining first quarter. Take a look at another angle of that fine touchdown pass by Peretti.
Here we see just a 3-step drop. Good protection that time by the offensive line. Peretti, now you're supposed to lay this on the outside shoulder. That's just about where he puts that ball. Plenty of room for Rulak to make the catch, and it was a good pattern because what Rulak did was he gave himself enough sideline to adjust to the outside to make that catch.
The homecoming fans very happy here in Clemson, South Carolina, as Igwebuike sets up the kickoff from his 40-yard line. Since that opening win over Indiana and the massive injuries started hitting them in the South Carolina game, in which South Carolina beat them 21-0, then Army beat them 13-9, Virginia 38-10, and then Virginia Tech shut them out 27-0 in their last ball game. The 26-yard reception by Rulak caps a 6-play, 78-yard drive in 2 minutes and 23 seconds. So with backup quarterback Anthony Peretti, who spends a lot of time in practice as senior from Jacksonville, Florida, getting some playing time, making him a happy young man, I'm sure.
What a luxury it is for Danny Ford to have a backup quarterback like Peretti who can come in off the bench, take the team right down the field.
Igwebuike pops it in the end zone. It's returnable, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Checking out some comparisons now for this season, the Duke offense is averaging 246 yards a ball game. Clemson has given up 297.6. See, the Duke offense is relying mostly on the passing game. 2:55 before the quarter break. Clemson 17-0. First and 10 for the Blue Devils at the 20-yard line. Over to Monk, Stanley Monk, and Monk gets good speed for the first down marker. Chucky Richardson finally catches up with him, number 56 from Thomasville, South Carolina.
Well, number 10, Drew Walston, shows good execution on the screenplay here. Straight back in the pocket, looks downfield, then lets it go to Stanley Monk out here, who had his offensive lineman out in front of him. Good running room for Duke that time.
Stanley Monk is quite an individual. He's only a freshman in that tailback spot. We mentioned he lettered in track. He was not only a runner, but he was also a championship discus thrower and a member of the National Honor Roll Society. So with the injury to Mike Peacock, number 33, it's Monk coming into the game, and Monk has the football, number 24. Oh, he's hit hard that time by Chucky Richardson. The linebacker from South Carolina, 225-pound senior. Let's check it out again.
Well, Duke tries a reverse here in their backfield, almost a Statue of Liberty type play. Chucky Richardson is not fooled. He stayed at home, came up and made a big hit.
Second down and 5 for the Blue Devils at the 37-yard line. Walston, the quarterback. And it's Monk trying the center, and he gets up to the 40, 2 yards shy of the first down before Craig Crawford makes the hit from Spring Lake, North Carolina.
Well, on the replay here, we're going to see what happens when you double team somebody, and there Duke is double teaming William Perry in the middle. That leaves somebody free, and that time it was Craig Crawford who came up and made the tackle.
Roy Bramson did a fine job of blocking number 66 on that play. The mascot Tiger. I think one of the prettiest costumes and one of the finest jobs I've seen a mascot do. College athletics right there.
Well, you've never seen the Lehigh Engineer.
Yeah, I've heard about it, though, from you only. Third down, 2 to go for Duke. A quick pass goes over to Herring. Herring more than the first down as he gets into Clemson territory for the first time today. down to the 48-yard line, where Keith Williams and Reggie Pleasant combined for the stop. Pleasant coming back in for Delton Hall, who was shaken up a bit.
And that time we saw the kind of play that Duke's going to have to execute in order to stay in this ball game. They can't go one-on-one with Clemson, so that time they tried the 3-step drop for the 5-yard look-in, and they got the first down.
Mike Atkinson to the near side. Herring goes to the far side in their offensive alignment. 1st and 10 from the 47. Stanley Monk is the tailback. They go to the air once again. It goes to Atkinson. Atkinson well covered that time. Maybe gained a yard on the play before Kenny Danforth came up for the hit. Danforth has been fighting off a slight injury during practice this week, but comes in to make a quick reaction play there.
Well, he showed no signs of it that time. That was the quick screen again to the wide receiver. They faked the dive. The first time Duke ran it, they got 10 yards on the play. This time Danforth says, hey, I've seen this one before. He comes up, makes the tackle.
Atkinson was moved to wide receiver from a tailback spot. Caught a team-high 4 passes against the military academy. So it'll be 2nd and 9 with 35 seconds left here in the first quarter. Oh! Breaking through, Dwayne Meadows. Meadows wanted to make sure. He's only 6'4". It's kind of hard to throw over from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Well, Walston wanted to throw a screen to his left. He's looking right, trying to look the defense off. Turns, and he had some linemen out there and his ball carrier, but Dwayne Meadows steps in, and it was almost coast to coast. Walston now, Art, is 4 of 7 for 40 yards.
Meadows with 23 tackles coming into this ball game, backing up Michael Perry. The two have done very, very well as redshirt freshmen. 3rd and 9. Walston. Good defensive coverage. Forces him to tuck the ball under. He gains a couple of yards before Keith Williams makes the stop. The secondary really doing the job on this play.
Well, in this play, the Clemson secondary came up and played bump and run, just man-to-man. There you see part of it right there. And man-to-man, they stay with the Duke receivers downfield. Walston's got nowhere to go with the ball. He's got to eat it.
Keith Williams doing a very fine job of playing pass coverage and then coming up for the run. There's the horn that sounds here at Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, with the first quarter score. Clemson 17, Duke nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter after this. First quarter stats, you see the domination by Clemson. 114 passing yards, total yards 212 in the ball game in that first quarter. Time of possession about the same, but 17-0 the score.
Time of possession very deceiving, because one stat that's not on there, Duke has only 3 first downs in this ball game. Clemson has 9. Their offense has been on the field, it seems, the majority of the time.
Boyer and Charleston are the wideouts. The new center is Jeff Litton. It's Cheatham and Reese, the guards. Ellis and Engel still the tackles. Epley back in at quarterback, pitches back to Griffin. A nice cut, but good coverage that time by the linebacker, number 59, Bill Lucas. Lucas in for Bonacani in the Blue Devil lineup. Cruz is now in at the right tackle spot for Clemson. As we'll see a lot of substitutions with this kind of lead. Rulak and Williams are the wide receivers. Carter at fullback. Griffin the tailback as Epley drops straight back. Lobs it for the big guy Riggs. At the 34. Alan Scales finally hauls him down. I'll tell you, that Riggs is a tough guy. 6'5", 235 pounds, and he's only a sophomore. He's got some growing time.
Well, it's great to have a couple of experienced quarterbacks, too. Duke was playing a 2-deep zone. The place to attack the 2-deep zone is down the middle to the tight end. That time he went to Riggs. Good read by Epley that time.
Epley 2 for 4 for 38 yards here in the early going of the ball game. So it's 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Goes to Carter. Carter gets his longest run. Well, he's averaging 2.5 a ball game. His longest was a 5-yard run, and he equals that on the first down play. So it's 2nd and 5, a short 5. David Clayton, number 79, in the huddle for the Clemson Tigers from Lima, South Carolina. He's at that left tackle spot in replace of Reed Engel. Pitch back to Griffin. Griffin! Oh, he's got an opening in good speed. Look out! He gets the block from Terrence Rulak he needs. He is going, gone. Touchdown, Clemson. What a block by Rulak to let him go all the way. You know, you see so many penalties on blocks like that, but Rulak had perfect technique.
Well, you're right, Art. Two things happen on this play. First of all, Duke's not set at the line of scrimmage. They seem to be confused by the Clemson formation. They were late lining up. And then Griffin breaks free around the right end, and Rulak comes back, makes a terrific block to spring him loose, and he's got clear sailing into the end zone.
He used that dead arm to slip the tackle by Calamari and goes for the score. Igwebuike's kick is up, and it is good with 13:03 remaining before halftime. It is Clemson 24, Duke nothing. Take another look at this downfield block now.
Well, here's our end zone camera. That's J.D. Copeland, our end zone cameraman. He's going to pick up the block here. Look at that by Rulak. Perfectly legal and great hustle by Rulak coming back on the play. Griffin waltzes into the end zone.
Completely wiped out Joby Branyan. With the score, Clemson 24, Duke nothing. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. First and 10 for Duke, 11:28 remaining second quarter. Drew Walston, the quarterback. Last year, Clemson got a big lead on the Blue Devils, but it was Bennett, the Blue Devils' great passer, who brought them back into the ballgame, and it took a batted down pass in the end zone for the Tigers to hold on to the margin of victory. William Perry making the tackle on Monk, but still some decent yardage off the first down play.
Well, we're going to see William Perry's agility and quickness just getting back on the line of scrimmage, not being offsides that time, but that's one of the ways that a quarterback can slow down a pass rush, by using the voice, using a varied count, trying to keep those defensive linemen off balance.
Mark Higginbotham and his twin brother right next to him, Mike, at center, and the quick guard spot. Back to Monk. Gets the corner, penalty flag down. Monk fumbles the ball, but he was out of bounds already after the first down. Let's check it and see which player the penalty is on. Anthony Johnson pushing Monk out of bounds on the play.
Well, they may have called this on number 9. John White for Duke was playing a wide receiver and cracked back. Let's see if that in fact is the call. You know, you may ask why Duke down 24-0, still running the ball. Steve Sloan knows that that defensive line of Clemson is going to have its ears back, going to be coming on his quarterback. You've still got to run the ball to keep them honest. I think if you mix the pass on first and second down, you're going to be more effective than trying to throw on third down every play. There you see the clip. It was on the wide receiver that time.
I was going to compliment you before you blew your own horn, Ken, but that's all right. Nah, very sharp notice on the play.
Well, playing for the Washington Federals, we became experts on how to play when you're behind.
Peacock back into the ball game. What a hit by the bandit Terrence Mack. That's his third sack of the year. Take another look at Terrence as he blitzes through.
Number 12, Terrence Mack.
Well, they're going to blow this. They're going to blow this ball dead. But I'll tell you, Terrence Mack really put a lick on Drew Walston. Looked like a fumble.
Oh, that was a fine defensive call by Tommy Harper and the coaches.
And at any rate, how would you like to be the quarterback now? 3rd and 28 on your own 13-yard line.
I'd give it to Peacock or Sanders.
It's a good call from here.
And he gives it to Sanders. William Perry after a gain of about a foot.
Eric Sanders on the carry. 4th down deep.
So the refrigerator comes out of the pack. He looks more like a freezer to me. 18 sacks, 45 tackles for loss. He stops him after a gain of a few inches on the play, 4th and 27. Harper is averaging 38 yards a punt in his 3 previous. Standing in his end zone as Pleasant is just almost to the 50-yard line there. And they had the rush on. A wobbly kick will go out of bounds at about the 44, 43-yard line. Denton Hall and Anthony Johnson with good pursuit on the kicker in the end zone. So for the score, Clemson 24, Duke nothing, 9:12 remaining second quarter. Let's pause for this word. But John Tolish injured. Ken Harper wanted to make sure that he wasn't injured, even if he had to fake it. A collision there. Steve Sloan would have to come in and punt. Peretti, the quarterback, in the mix-up. Tried to hand it, looked like to Ken Flowers, but Flowers didn't take it away from him. Howard Woods, the rover, comes in to make the tackle on Peretti.
Loss of 1 yard.
Here's Peretti coming down the line, faking to Flowers as fullback, pulls it out. Duke does a good job of stringing this out, however. They had the pitch man covered. Peretti had nowhere to go with the ball.
The way Flowers looked back at him, Kim, it looked like he kind of expected the handoff. 2nd and 11 now for the Tigers. Peretti. Oh, what a hit that time. Stacy Driver got blasted by Mike Junkin.
Tackle in the backfield.
From Belvedere, Illinois. He's only a sophomore, 6'4", 238. Let's watch the hit.
Loss of 1 yard.
Well, 6'4", 238. He's going to get all of it. Stacy Driver is going to get all of the 238 right there. That's a perfect tackle. Helmet right on the football, puts the ball carrier on his back.
Good to see why he is the number 1 tackler on this ball club with 53 tackles now. Peretti dropping back on the 3rd and 12. Goes long to Rulak, waiting for the ball at the 20-yard line, 15-10. Tries to get out of the grasp of the player. It's a face mask, I'll bet you, as he goes out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Bob Calamari, the tackle, with a little help from the face mask.
The key to this completion is the time that Peretti had to throw the ball. Rulak just went down the sidelines. Duke was in a zone, and he found the open area in the zone, just hung there on the sideline. Peretti had all day to throw the ball. Finally got the ball out to him on the sideline. They get the face mask call. They're down close to the 5-yard line.
Checking out at other angles, we see Peretti now.
Well, we saw he pump fake down the middle to his tight end, Riggs. Still had the time to come back over here to Rulak on his left. There's the face mask right there.
39-yard gain on that pass play.
So the 39-yard pass play and penalty puts it down to the 3-yard line. Peretti now at 4 for 4 for 95 yards, Kim.
Well, it's a great opportunity for Anthony Peretti. I'm sure everybody in the entire Clemson team is happy for him.
Flowers can't get it in as he gets just inside the 2-yard line. Greg Blackwell holding on to him there.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Peretti's worked very hard these past 4 years. He's always been there when they've needed him, backing up Mike Epley, and I understand he's interested in becoming a football coach when he graduates from Clemson.
Well, another thing, too, is that he's been an invaluable holder for the kicking game for Clemson. Lots of times that's overlooked, but when you get kickers like we've seen here at Clemson with such impressive figures, you know that the entire kicking unit is working well.
Absolute holders are very, very important, Art.
2nd and 3. It's Driver to the outside. He'll get it easily. Stacy Driver for the touchdown. Rulak, another block. Rulak's going crazy in this ball game.
Oh, there you see the block by Rulak. And just a toss sweep, and they're outside. It almost looks too easy. This is like stealing. There's Flowers with a good block at the line of scrimmage. Look at this, waltzing in. Art Ekman could have scored on that play.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Even a slow-footed quarterback might have scored. I'm not talking about you, Kim. Igwebuike puts it up and through the uprights. And he's still perfect in that department. It's Clemson 31, Duke nothing with 7:14 remaining before halftime. I have a feeling this homecoming crowd might go out to the parking lot at halftime. Well, it's a terrific coordinated effort by Clemson, that's for sure. And after a fine victory over North Carolina, tied 3-3 at halftime, and then pouring it on, coming back from diversity in the 3rd quarter to take that victory over the Tar Heels, this is a good game for the Clemson Tigers in regrouping their season. Driver, a 2-yard run, capping a drive of 1 minute 58 seconds. In 5 plays, they went 43 yards.
And the key to that is the field position, the fact that Clemson took possession on Duke's 43-yard line.
Herring and Atkinson back in the end zone waiting. And they're giving Igwe-Buike's leg a rest as Don Inman comes in to kick off. Well, with Igwe-Buike being a senior, Inman is heir to the job.
You'd like to say he has large shoes to fill, but Iggy's only 5'9".
Yeah, I think Inman has larger shoes. And it looks like he kicks almost as well. He puts it out of the end zone, though, and Duke gets a break. They get an added 10 yards. It'll come out to the 30-yard line. That's the first kick, though, that Inman has made in 6 kickoffs that have been brought out to the 30-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils with 7:14 remaining before halftime. Drew Walston comes into the game. Stanley Monk at tailback and Tracy Smith in at the fullback spot. Smith, only a sophomore. And he is the lone remaining running back as Monk is up in a wing, so it looks like they're in a passing formation right now with Drew Walston dropping straight back. Fullback is out on the pattern as a safety valve, but he got it to the tight end and he dropped it. Scott Russell. Coming into the season, Duke
for number 85, Scott Russell.
was pretty sure they had a couple of the best tight ends in the business. There's the total yardage in this ball game already. 333 yards for the Clemson Tigers, and still 7:08 remaining before halftime.
Well, last year these two clubs combined to gain over 1,000 yards in the game. Of course, Duke had Ben Bennett, the All-ACC quarterback last year.
Russell is just coming back from injury. The young man that just dropped the ball at the tight end spot, and another deflection right there. Good defense. Let's check the penalty flag. It was dropped with number 22 on the coverage. Mike Isaacs from Pickens, South Carolina, getting into the ball game, and let's check and see if the hit was just a little bit too soon. Keith Williams had a good rush on the passer that time. Let's check it out.
Walston straight back in the pocket. Clemson came with a blitz. There you see both linebackers up the middle. That's Keith Williams just hitting him as he lets go. Isaacs, pretty good coverage that time. That's a tough call.
Looked like the timing was pretty close on that. Can't fault Isaacs for it, really. A very aggressive, good hit. The Tigers getting his workout today. We were mentioning about the tight ends on this Blue Devil team. Scott Russell started out the starter. Averaged 10.7 yards a catch, all ACC type material. Then he got injured, and Rick Reed had to come in. And Rick is actually the first man on the 2-depth chart coming into this ball game. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line after the penalty. A short drop, and he can't hang on. Hearing footsteps was Mike Atkinson, and I don't blame him, as that big hitter coming up from the side.
Well, I don't envy Drew Walston right now. He's getting a lot of pressure from the Clemson defensive line. That time was just a 3-step drop, and you should not be touched on a 3-step drop. But Michael Perry, number 91 for Clemson that time, actually had his hands on Walston as he was letting go of the ball just on the quick out.
And your percentages of completion drop considerably when you're trying to throw over someone. You like to throw between players. And a guy the size of Michael Perry. Here we come. He dishes it off wisely, and it's Monk, Stanley Monk, who goes out of bounds about a yard shy of the first down marker. Nice call for that situation, as William Perry was looking for that record-breaking sack right here.
Well, it was a good call. They allowed the lineman to come in that time. Walston holding on to the last possible second, dumps it out on the screen to his right. Duke got good yardage, not quite enough for the first down. They've got a 3rd and 1.
6:47 remaining second quarter.
3rd down, 1 yard to go for the Blue.
Monk is the tailback in the power eye. Fumble on the snap, and they won't get it. Crawford hanging on, trying to bulldog him down.
And when it rains, it pours. Walston just loses the handle at the line of scrimmage. They were going power eye to the left. Crawford's all over him.
4th down, looks like they'll go for it. Trailing 31-0. 6:21 remaining before halftime. You don't really have much to lose.
Fourth down, 2 yards to go.
Now you wonder if they'll come with some sort of a play-action pass, because it's not 4th and 1, it's 4th and 2. That's a long 2 yards against this Clemson defense.
Walston shuttles it back, loose ball out of bounds. Clemson will take over at about the 38-yard line. It was intended for Eric Sanders, and Walston, with the good pressure on him, just flipped the ball out there without looking.
Well, Duke tries to run the option into the short side of the field. Clemson bottles it up quickly. They force Walton to make the pitch early. That was 56, Chucky Richardson in the backfield. Walton had to let it go, and nobody there. Clemson takes over.
Epley back in at quarterback. Flowers is the fullback. Williams and Butler the wideouts. Stacy Driver the tailback on this series. K.D. Dunn is back in at tight end. Epley on the option, and he doesn't even have time to pitch it. A wise move by Epley and not trying to get rid of it as Junkin was coming through. Junkin's third sack of the day.
Well, Duke may be down 31-0, but Mike Junkin doesn't know it. Here we see the sophomore in the backfield, disrupting a play, sacking Epley before anything developed.
Third tackle for loss on the season with 5:30 now remaining before halftime. 80,500 fans here at Death Valley today. Handing off to Flowers up the middle. Trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage. He does so and gains about a yard more than that. Bonacani is credited with the tackle on the play. That's Williams and Butler coming back into the wideouts.
3rd and 9. In this kind of a situation, you may be thinking tight end. K.D. Dunn has not caught a pass yet today. Epley, I think, is audibilizing at the line of scrimmage. He sees the Duke blitz.
And he can't do much about it. Good coverage, man for man, on all three receivers out, too.
Well, Duke really doesn't allow Epley to get set this time. Here's Junkin blitzing. Flowers tried to pick him up, but Epley doesn't even have time to set up as Duke's all over him. That time the blitz paid off for Duke.
Danny Ford looks on. Clemson has decided to give Igwe a shot at a record field goal. Peretti will have the placement just beyond the 52-yard line. So officially, it would be a 62-yarder if Igwe can hit it.
The record's held by Obed Areri, who's kicking for Tampa Bay. I held for Obed in the USFL. Here's the kick.
Didn't quite get it. Didn't quite get into it, but a penalty flag is down. I believe it'll be roughing the holder. Jovi Brannian. And we might be able to see him crash through here.
Well, here's Peretti on the hold. Igwe keeps his head down, but look at him get hit. No question about that penalty. We mentioned Obed Areri. Both Obed Areri and Igwe are from Nigeria. They're both almost exactly the same in build, and both are great kickers.
It looked like Igwe got a little bit too far out in front of the football on the kick. It looked like he was just trying to put too much into it. There we are from our telecast location. Mark Packer, our statistician, Ginger Littlejohn, invaluable help with our spotters boards.
At halftime, Appalachian State 14, Furman 7.
The Clemson Tigers will take over 1st and 15 after illegal procedure and a roughing the kicker penalty. That's Flowers. What a spin away! Almost to the 15-yard line. Calamari finally catching up with him. K.D. Dunn throwing a good block in that corner.
Number 31, Bob Calamari.
Flowers picking up Ray Williams, who did his darndest with a block.
Well, you're right. Ray Williams also did a nice job blocking, but look at Flowers bounce it outside. Reese with a fine block that time at the line of scrimmage. There's Ray Williams just dogging the cornerback all the way downfield. That helped get extra yardage out of that play.
Only 9 carries in the last ball game against North Carolina for 55 yards. So it's 1st and 10 from the 16 after the fine run by Flowers. Out of the pro set, Stacy Driver's back there with him, but Epley's going to the air. He's going to lob it to drive for a touchdown pass. Ray Williams, touchdown! Epley ties the touchdown career record. It's jointly held by Bobby Gage and Tommy Kendrick.
Well, Mike Epley has only thrown 5 passes in the first half, but this one goes for a touchdown. It's a 3-step drop. The receiver had bump and run coverage on him. He ran what we call a step and go. He just steps right at Jody Brannion, the defensive back, and then goes to the outside, gives himself room, and look at the dance in the end zone.
The Ray Williams, how would you call that?
Shuffle.
No, it's more like a swivel.
Swivel, okay.
Igwe Bike puts it up on air. 38-0 Clemson over Duke, but what a fine play.
Well, the
to Ray Williams for his 3rd touchdown reception. Here's Epley.
The key to this is the timing. Here's Bonacani on the blitz. He doesn't get to Epley on time, and Epley just lets it go. A touch pass, a timing pass to Williams' outside shoulder. He makes the adjustment. Touchdown.
Very nice job by Ray Williams that time of not giving away the play as the defender looked right at him. With the score, Clemson 38, Duke nothing. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. Taking a look at the scoring drive as Epley passes to Williams on the 16-yard reception for his 24th career touchdown passes, joining the ranks of Bobby Gage and Tommy Kendrick. Kickoff goes through, but I believe it'll be out to the 20. Yes, it will. And so the Blue Devils get another try with 3:25 remaining on the clock from their 20-yard line. 3:25 before halftime, Clemson 38-0. Steve Slayton comes in at quarterback, and there's Epley, smile on his face, goes into the record books. Slayton, we mentioned earlier in the telecast, a redshirt freshman out of Atlanta, has looked very impressive in certain games with his passing completion percentage, and he completes this one over to the 25 out of bounds. Penalty flag in the air, though, might take that pass away that went to Rick Reed, the tight end.
Completed number 89, Rick Reed.
Just might be a holding call. Let's check it to see.
Reed run out of bounds by Mike Eisen.
Tough way to enter the ball game for a young quarterback. Completes his first pass. Called back holding. Notice that William Perry is now out of the lineup. Clemson making a lot of substitutions. And I'll tell you, Art, I can't think of a worse situation for a young quarterback down 38-0 against one of the top defenses in the conference. Backed up, 1st and 20 on your own 10-yard line. I think I'd pull out the quick kick.
Number 78, Escrow, Greg Escrow, is in at middle guard for William Perry. Steve Slayton now faced with a 1st and 20-yard situation. Lets it fly out of bounds. It was intended for number 24, Stanley Monk. Good coverage that time. And the up front men doing a good job. Jameis was on the run.
Well, what you'd like to do is hit a few completions underneath the coverage. I think that's what Steve Sloan would like Slayton to do, to get his feet on the ground, get a little confidence. But that time, Clemson even had the short pass covered very well.
Good shot of the youngster from Westminster High School in Atlanta. Still has a 20-yard to go situation for the first down, and here comes the group. Here comes the group. Steve Berlin, the first hitter. And Escrow as well, number 78. Take a look at him.
Well,
Berlin will come from the other side.
Here is Escrow, William Perry's replacement. He's in on the quarterback. Berlin's in there.
Jeff Wells as well.
Had a big meeting in the backfield. Now you've got 3rd and 29. You're on your own 1-yard line.
Two minutes and 30 seconds. Still lots of time. Too much time as far as Duke is concerned. Slayton lets one go. Intercepted. Perry Williams. And Perry Williams is pulled down at the 17-yard line. Mike Peacock making the tackle. Well, that's a no-win situation for a quarterback, Tim.
Well, I agree. It's a tough way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Back in your own 1-yard line, freshman quarterback drops to the back of his own end zone, makes the mistake of throwing high down the middle into the zone. Perry Williams comes up with the ball. Just a tough situation for Duke.
Peretti at quarterback, Carter the fullback, and Griffin the tailback. It's Butler and Williams, the wideouts, goes right up the middle. It's Carter bowling his way to the 9-yard line. Junkin making the tackle. Noel Masri also in on the play, a sophomore from Waltham, Massachusetts.
Well, Clemson's got a plethora of backs. Here's Henry Carter. He's just dying to get his hands on the ball. Look at him fight there. The second effort. Must be 5 Duke tacklers on him.
So give the Tigers a 2nd and 5 from the 8-yard line. Carter, not much running room that time. Junkin once again making the stop. He's loading up on his tackle statistics. Steve Sloan this year going to that even front, changing the defensive concept of things.
Gain of 1 yard. 3rd down, 4 yards to go from the 7.
So it's 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4. Wouldn't be surprised to see either the step and go or maybe the option. Here's the option.
Now he goes up front to that fullback, Carter. And Carter still without a first down as he gets right over the 5-yard line. Scott Williams, the long snapper, coming in along with Riggs and Quick.
And here comes the backup kicker,
Inman,
into the game to attempt a field goal.
And holding for him is a new holder. No, that's Inman.
Scott Williams.
Still Peretti the holder.
Anthony Peretti the hold. Don Inman the kick.
Inman stepping into it. It's true. It's sharp. Goes up to the 4th row toward the back of the stands. And that's Inman's first field goal in 1984. So it's halftime with the score, Clemson 41, the Duke Blue Devils nothing.